Can you take my sound down a little bit?
You need your sound down?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. It feels very loud in my head. Like the voices in my head right now are super, super loud.
I can't hear them all.
Maybe on there. On the little.
This thing?
Yeah, that thing.
How about you keep talking?
Should I just keep talking?
Yeah, tell me if it's better.
It's too loud still.
I don't know which one it is.
Down more.
Is it this one?
That's not me.
Oh, look, I just found mine. There you go.
Oh my gosh, that's so much better.
Is that better?
Okay, these are the joys of doing a live remote. Yay! Oh my gosh, that's perfect.
Look at that.
That is perfect. Michelle, you are a rock star.
In my defense, I've never done a remote broadcasting, so this is all kind of new to me. So bear with us, people.
The setup of the equipment is completely different than what we're typically using in the studio.
Yes.
And you are doing an amazing job.
Thank you.
You
haven't screwed anything up yet.
No, you're doing great. I would never take that on. I'd be like, I don't know what to do.
Please don't make me do it.
So we're here today at the Phoenix Dream Center, which is, we're going to learn more about that in a little bit. Normally right now we would be doing our www, and the www is where Michelle goes out to the web and she finds stories, and those are typically wild, wacky, and wonderful stories, and then we talk about that. We're actually not going to do that today though. At 9:45 we are going to have an attorney call in. Are we all set up for that?
Well, we're going to give it a shot. But yes, Tom Capstrom is expecting our call here in a little bit. And we're going to talk about some of the police activity in the United States these days. So,
exactly, and some of the legal issues around that. There's been a huge controversy in this recent issue where Eric Garner was shot, and I think everyone, including the police officers, expected there to be an indictment for the police officer.
I think so too. However, I think the wrong charges were brought up against him.
Exactly.
And that's part of the reason why we're going to bring our expert on, just to kind of see how that works. But it just seems to me that they were going for something that there was no way he was going to be indicted for.
Right.
So why do they do that?
Right.
And what does that mean now as far as the case goes and things like that?
Right. And this conversation, Michelle and I were having this conversation, and with our knowledge of legal, based on everything that we've seen in Law and Order.
That's right, because exactly. That is where we gain all of our legal knowledge is Law and Order Special Victims Unit.
Exactly. So we were going back and forth and talking about all of the, all the little details of that case and why it is that the prosecuting attorney asked for murder instead of manslaughter. And so we were going back and forth talking about that, and realize that neither of us have any legal expertise, and we really don't know what we're talking about.
Well, speak for yourself, Christina.
Oh, really? What is your legal expertise?
I took like one class in college.
Okay, well, my legal experience is standing in front of a judge, and not as an attorney.
Oh, I've never had to do that.
Yeah.
You're one up on me there, girlfriend. You're one up.
Oh, yeah. So there's a lot going on here. They've got a beautiful Christmas tree. The location that we're at for the Phoenix Dream Center was a hotel, and they've now turned it into a space that is helping people. So all of that you're hearing in the background, there's a lot of bustling about. There's a lot of people here in the lobby area, and they are looking for donations. So if you want to come down here and bring some items, they definitely can use those items.
They can. And what they're looking for right now are some kind of business casual outfits, because I believe one of their goals here is to get them back in the working force.
Right.
So they're looking for clothes that people can interview in.
Yes.
And then there are also a lot of mothers here with newborns. So infant clothes and things like that. But absolutely anything helps.
Yeah.
So...
I found it really interesting. This facility was opened in 2006. And for anyone that's been listening for any length of time, I've been very open about my past and my addiction. And in 2006, I was in full-blown addiction mode. It wasn't until 2007 that I got sober, and ever since then, my life has just completely turned around. And some of the people that are here are in that same situation. And so I look around, and I think it's really fitting that the name of this place is the Dream Center. The Phoenix Dream Center. That dream, because truly, once you do get into the space of sobriety, your dreams can come true. I mean, I'm sitting here co-hosting a show on an amazing network with someone that
they're announcing something, so I feel like we need to be
I feel like we need to be quiet now.
I know. I'm not sure what he's talking about.
Gratitude.
So just bear with us for a second, people. We're trying to be respectful.
And they've got some presentation to make. I also want to turn it over to Kathy Gatherer for a moment.
So if you're watching, you're seeing Michelle and I. Okay. Can we go to our commercial break?
So what we're going to do is we're going to take a break right now. And if I can find the little button to pull that up, we're going to take a break right now. I'm just kidding. Not really.
Do you want me to grab Adam?
No, it's okay. I'll find it. So anyway, people, thank you for bearing with us here. And why can't I find my Sky? iTunes. Here we go. All right, guys, we're going to take a break and we'll be back.
All right, you're listening to No Limits Radio Show. This is Christina.
I'm Michelle.
Construction and landscape business is the opportunity you've been waiting for. The Vetraplex is your gateway to an affordable startup business with 0% financing for qualifying owners. By owning a Vetraplex franchise, you will be hiring veterans, providing them both income and opportunity, while at the same time providing your customers a way to say, thank you for your service to our nation's veterans. For more information, visit vetraplex.org. Again, that's vetraplex.org or call 928-284-2022.
Are you or someone you know looking for a new job or career? The Vets on Media family would like to invite you to the National Career Fair in Phoenix on November 17th from 11 until 2 p.m. This free job fair will be held at the Phoenix Airport Marriott Hotel, located at 1101 North 44th Street, Phoenix. This is your chance to meet some of the top employers in the Phoenix area face-to-face. Get ready to jumpstart your new career at the National Career Fair in Phoenix, November 17th from 11 until 2 p.m. at the Phoenix Marriott Hotel, 1101 North 44th Street, Phoenix. For more information, visit ncfairs.com/Phoenix. Again, that's ncfairs.com/Phoenix.
Breaker 19. How about that bandit? You got them ears on, son?
Have you ever wanted to be a truck driver? If so, pay attention. If not, pay attention anyway. Southwest Truck Driver Training offers everything you need to get started. You can get hired before you begin training. They've got GI Bill approved training facilities, day, night, or weekend programs to fit your busy schedule. And if you have any questions, no sweat. They've got veteran supportive campuses with veterans on staff to serve you. And on top of that, they have lifetime job placement assistance. Put the pedal to the metal. Call Southwest Truck Driver Training today.
Everyone's going to need an attorney at some point in their life. I'm no different. Hey everyone, it's James from Vets On. Whether it was my last will and testament before deployment or my ongoing custody battle for my children during my divorce, I needed help, so I lawyered up. If you need help, I urge you to contact Capstrom Law Firm. Capstrom Law Firm in Springfield, Missouri services clients throughout the state in criminal law, personal injury, and family law. With over 13 years practicing law, Tom Capstrom understands both law and court procedures and how stressful they can be. Let Tom Capstrom Law Firm and his dedicated staff take the stress and worry out of a difficult situation by calling him today. We feel so strongly about the work that Tom and his staff are doing that he'll be a monthly guest on the show. Tom is a veteran and a listener, for God's sake, so you know the guy is solid and will fight for you. Give Tom a call today by calling 417-864-0552 or email Tom at capstromlaw.com. And don't forget to tell him that Vets On sent you.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertising.
If you or someone you know is looking for a new job or career, you need to visit the pros. National Career Fairs at ncfairs.com. National Career Fairs hosts over 300 career fairs a year nationwide. The events are free and give you the perfect chance to meet some of the top employers in your area face-to-face. To find the nearest career fair to you, visit ncfairs.com. Again, that's ncfairs.com. What are you waiting for?
You're listening to No Limits Radio Show on the Vets On Media Network.
All right, welcome back, and thanks for bearing with us for that
That impromptu break that I'm not really that great at, but we're going to do it right now.
Okay, so we are going to have Tom Capstrom from Capstrom Law Office joining us telephonically. We were talking, Michelle and I were talking about this whole issue with Eric Garner, and a lot of people have been talking about the grand jury and that whole process, and I feel like there's a lot of secrecy around it. So we were kind of going back and forth, and I had off the cuff said, they need to fire the grand jury. And I don't know if that's even possible. There's a lot of questions that I have about the whole grand jury process. So rather than Michelle and I continuing to use our limited legal knowledge, which seems to be Law and Order,
and her time in jail.
Yeah. So, actually, I never went to jail.
Besides my lazy ass sitting on the couch on a Sunday in the rain and her having her issues. That's about all we know.
Yes.
So yeah, we're going to give Tom a call.
Okay. So bear with us because
we haven't done this before either.
We've typically had people call in to us. So now we're calling someone.
Hi, is this Tom?
Yes.
Hi, Tom. This is No Limits Radio Show.
Hey, how are you?
We're good. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Awesome. So we were just sharing with our listeners that we've been talking a lot about the grand jury process. There's a lot of controversy around Eric Garner and the way that process went. And rather than Michelle and I continue to puzzle through it with our limited legal knowledge, we wanted to bring on an expert.
You called me. That's your first mistake.
Oh, great.
Wait, okay, so how many episodes have you seen of Law and Order? Because that's kind of how that's our knowledge is Law and Order. So I at least need to know that you've seen more than us.
Well, actually, I started binge watching yesterday when you called me to prepare for this radio talk. So, 11 episodes, I think.
So you powered through 11 episodes yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So one of the questions that I had, it seems that the prosecuting attorney asked for the decision from the grand jury of murder. And some people have said that he should have asked for manslaughter. What's the difference between those two?
Well, the threshold of murder and manslaughter varies from state to state. I don't know the exact elements in New York, but generally when you're getting into a manslaughter type of an issue, it goes to the intent and the premeditation. So on a murder, you have to have the premeditation and the intent to kill somebody, whereas manslaughter, that's almost like just the result of what happened.
Okay.
That's kind of the distinction there.
So do you think...
And again, it's going to depend on what the state's actual elements are of each of those.
So why, if that is the definition of murder, why would have the prosecuting attorney gone for that in this case? Because at least from what I've seen and heard, I don't think there was anything premeditated about what the officer did.
Right. Basically what happens is, okay, the first thing to understand is that grand juries and their rules are different from state to state. Some states don't require them. I think New York is one of the states that does require grand juries before you indict them. That being said, the rules are different in each state, and so a lot of times what happens is the prosecutor will look at all of the evidence that they have And then they present that to the grand jury saying, look, I think that based off of all of these facts, all of this evidence, video, everything else, all of that stuff, I think I can make a case for murder. The grand jury is then instructed on the law. And they're basically told, here's what the law is regarding murder, here's what the law is regarding anything that may come into play, like use of force. Is it justified? Isn't it justified? When? And then they look at everything. That's the prosecuting attorney presents what he or she feels is the strongest case to the grand jury.
So is it possible, can the grand jury say, no, we don't feel there's a case for murder, but we do feel that there's a case for manslaughter? Does the grand jury have that option?
In some jurisdictions, they do have that option. But when they do that, they then have to redirect the prosecuting attorney to file an information, which is the charging document, based off of what they believe to be the relevant facts. But when they do that, they basically have to say, look, we don't think that there's enough here for murder, but based on what you showed us, we think that this is right for a manslaughter charge or something else. And then here's why. And they have to be very specific. They can't just say, we think we believe this guy, we didn't believe that guy. They need to lay out all of the facts, all of the elements in a legal type packet and give that to the prosecuting attorney. And that's if that jurisdiction allows them to do that. There are some jurisdictions that don't. Some jurisdictions say only time the grand jury can come back with something like that is an issue of whether the person should be tried as an adult or not, or whether it's going to get removed to a family court setting because of the person's age, or some other type of an issue. So again, it goes back to what the rules are for that particular jurisdiction.
It seems like that's putting a lot of legal expertise on a grand jury. For a grand jury to have to come back and say, well, we don't think murder, but we do think manslaughter, and on these grounds, are these people qualified to do that?
They are. What happens is in New York, from what little research I've done, it looks like the process in New York is different than places I've lived, like California, Missouri, other states. And in New York, they get called to jury duty like you or I would for a trial, whether it's civil or criminal. They get the same type of a call to jury duty for grand jury. And then there's a vetting process that is gone through with the judge and the prosecuting attorney, and then it whittles it down. And if my research is current and correct, it looks like in, let me get this right here before I move this up. I think in New York, they get 23 people for the grand jury that are going to sit on that. And they only hear, in New York, it sounds like, several cases. There are other jurisdictions, like in California, where the grand jury is selected, and they sit for 9 months or 10 months, and whatever comes through their office on those 9 or 10 months is what they hear.
Really?
Oh, yeah. And so in New York, it's more of like a traditional trial jury selection like people are used to hearing, or like you can see on your Law and Order.
Okay.
Except for the difference is there's no defense attorney that's in there that's, objecting to different jurors. It's basically just the judge, prosecuting attorney. They weed through it. They get these people. They're sworn in. They're given a handbook. They're told about the case. They're kind of advised as to what they can and can't do. And then that's when the judge bows out. Sometimes the judge will stay to go over legal definitions, legal rules, things like that. But for the most part, once they're impaneled and they're doing their thing, it's the prosecuting attorney and other people who have to be in there for specific purposes.
Okay, so the prosecuting attorneys typically work very closely with law enforcement agencies. So what's the protection that there's not some bias? And let's just, to really spell it out, to address that elephant in the room, what's the protection to keep a prosecuting attorney from not saying, you know what, I know this police officer, I know who he is, I have some bias to him, I want to protect him because I know he's a great officer, and so I'm going to ask the grand jury for murder when I know that there's no shot of getting that. What's the protection? And I think that lack of that fear, that mistrust is what's leading to a lot of the questions.
Well, there's a couple of things I think. That number one, when the prosecuting attorney is elected, it's elected by the community, right? The people who are voting. And so I think that that's the first thing. They're electing somebody, and they're basically putting their trust in that person to not have those biases and not be, kind of one-sided towards law enforcement when they elect them to those positions. Once they're in that position and they start dealing with the grand jury, there's safeguards in place that if the grand jury believes that this prosecuting attorney is off the mark or is biased or is, has some kind of a conflict, they can talk to the judge. And if it comes out that that person is in fact biased or in conflict or there is some kind of impropriety going on, the prosecuting attorney can get in a lot of trouble. I mean, they can basically be fired and there can be criminal charges brought against them. So I know the first reaction when there's a use of force type issue is everybody thinks the police are going to cover for themselves, the prosecuting attorney is going to cover for themselves, things like that. And I've sat on use of force boards before for different departments and for different city attorneys' offices, and I can just tell you emphatically right now that it's absolutely not the case. It is very matter of fact. It's very evidence driven. It's very rule regulated, and no department or prosecuting attorney's office wants to get caught up in we were trying to cover for somebody or we weren't really giving it the old college try, knowing that the grand jury is just going to come back with that with a non-bill, which is basically saying we're not going to indict. Because there's just too much to risk. I mean, careers can be destroyed over that. Criminal charges can be brought. It's just not worth it.
So let me ask you this: for whatever reason, in this case, the grand jury didn't come back and say, "Okay, we don't agree with murder," but they also didn't come back and say, "We want to go for a lesser charge. We want to go for we think you can find him guilty for manslaughter." So in this situation, like I said, for whatever reason, we don't know why they didn't. Is the prosecutor, the prosecuting attorney, is he able to bring up charges of a lesser degree?
Like can it be reviewed again, or is there that double jeopardy?
No, double jeopardy doesn't apply on indictments and the grand jury and that's part of one of the safeguards. Everybody talks about, why is our grand jury so secret, stuff like that. One of the huge reasons is to protect innocence. And I'm not saying this officer is innocent in this case. I'm just saying that if you indict somebody and it turns out that there isn't enough to charge them with whatever, you don't want them and all that dirt getting out there because some of it may not be true. And a case in point is look at the Michael Brown stuff that was kicking off in Missouri, and it's the hands up, don't shoot. The first testimony by those eyewitnesses that were on scene immediately after were saying he had his hands up saying, don't shoot me, don't shoot me. He was backpedaling, and the police officer shot him. And then the 3 different autopsy reports came out that wasn't the case. And those people's eyewitness testimony, they even changed their tune and said, no, I didn't see that. That's not what happened. But yet, all across the country, you have NFL players walking on the field with their hands up, don't shoot. And it's like, it's snowball.
Well, and I think with the Michael Brown case, I think the people that have embraced that with the hands up, don't shoot, I think they picked the wrong story. I think there may be some underlying issues there, and that's what it's about in that case. But you're absolutely right. People did come to their own judgment without the facts. But one of the issues with that, I think, is the grand jury process is so secretive. So it's not like, and I understand what you're saying, that some of that, there's to protect the people so that they're not wrongly accused. But I think that contributes to the lack of trust.
It does, but then what's the other side of that? I mean, there's 3 good reasons why they're so secretive. 1, to get full cooperation from the witnesses. 2, it's so that way the people who are sitting on the grand jury feel free to deliberate and talk about things and know that it's confidential and know that they're not going to be held accountable from a mob mentality if they don't come down the way the mob wants them to rule. And then, like we just talked about, is what happens if the person isn't indicted? And so it's kind of a catch-22 where you're saying we want transparency so we can make sure you're doing your job, but then that kind of undermines the whole process in and of itself.
I hear what you're saying, and I still think that there has to be there has to be a solution. You know, when we have a situation like Eric Garner, where the police officer doesn't get indicted, the videographer, the person who shot the video and uploaded that video, gets indicted, it just makes my brain hurt. And I think that a person much smarter than me needs to fix it.
Well, I'm not saying it's a perfect system. It's clearly not a perfect system. And anytime that you have distrust of law enforcement, you know, it goes both ways, because you have the society not trusting law enforcement who are tasked with protecting society. And then the flip side of that is you have law enforcement saying, well, they don't trust us, they hate us, why should we protect them anyway? Like, I don't want to get involved in that because it's just going to end badly for me. I'm going to lose my job, or I can get killed, or whatever, and they don't appreciate it anyway. And I think that law enforcement officers who take that approach should not be on the job at all. I also think people who are in society need to not fall into that mob mentality, or this is what I see on TV, or this is what this person says, and they don't have any legal training with use of force and things like that. I think everybody needs to kind of back away from that and just kind of look at the facts. And something that I see and hear every day regarding use of force is, like in this case, he was just selling cigarettes, or maybe he wasn't selling cigarettes that weren't taxed. Does that deserve, you know, should he die for that? And my question is, he didn't die for that. You know, what happens if he would have just complied with the police officer? Look, the police officer were 100% wrong, racist, he hated him, they had a bone to pick him saying, hey, you always harass me. Let's say all that's true. At the end of the day, if he would have just listened to what they said, put his hands behind his back, he'd still be alive. And I'm not saying that that has to be the way he responded, but at the same time, and I don't deal with, and I haven't been subjected to any type of racial bias that I know of anyway when it comes to law enforcement. So I can't speak to people in the community who have dealt with that, which I know happens on a daily basis. And friends who are law enforcement tell me it happens on a daily basis. But there needs to be some accountability for the people's own actions as well.
I completely agree. The case that we recently had here in Phoenix, where the individual, there was a call for someone thought that he was selling drugs. Turned out there were drugs that were found in his vehicle, a semi-automatic weapon, I believe, and he ran from the police and he ended up getting shot. You know, that's in that situation, you know, you've got to know that the police aren't going to retreat. You know, they're just not. And how you engage with the police, there's going to be some repercussions for that.
Absolutely.
Do you feel?
I mean, you don't know how many times, and you hear this all the time, that police officers get called, you know, and it's two people arguing over whatever, and then they get there and somebody's got a knife sticking out of them, and it's like, whoa, where'd that come from? Or, hey, husband and wife are fighting. They think it's just going to be a basic, hey, I just got to break the fight, they're drinking, you know, they need to go to their separate corners to relax. And they show up, and all of a sudden, the wife is the one who's calling 911, is trying to beat the hell out of the police officers with a frying pan.
Right.
And, you know, I don't want to arrest my husband. So things go sideways so quickly. So I will never try to Monday morning quarterback what goes through an officer's mind in the heat of the moment when he's wrestling with the suspect or what's going on. I can tell you that, you know, to get back to, you know, the case at hand in New York, he talked about how the prosecuting attorney had to request to be able to release information to the public from the judge. And that's true because everything is secret. And the threshold, I don't know if you had a chance to read the actual opinion from the judge yet. But
no, I haven't.
The judge wrote like a 4 or 5 page opinion on his ruling on deciding to release information and what to release. And he said that basically it's a balancing act as far as the public's right to know, the need to know, which also will prove that we're following the rules we're supposed to do, versus what kind of harm can come by releasing some of that information. Will it undermine the system? Will it put somebody, you know, in peril? You know, things like that. And he weighed that information, and he came back and said, yeah, we need to release some of this stuff. Even though some of this stuff has been released by the media already, it's not important that, you know, that's not going to decide why we release it. But he came back and released very specific stuff. You know, he talked about the time of 9 weeks for deliberation, talked about the grand jury hearing from 50 different witnesses. He said that 22 of those witnesses were civilians, and the remaining witnesses were police officers, emergency personnel, and doctors. He had almost half of the witnesses were citizens. He talked about 60 exhibits that were admitted into evidence. So the prosecutor was admitting a lot of stuff, which included videos, records regarding the NYPD policies and procedures, medical records pertaining to the treatment of the deceased, photographs of the scene, autopsy photographs, records pertaining to NYPD training. And then the thing that I thought was very important is the grand jury was instructed on relevant principles of law, including New York's Penal Law Section 3530 regarding police officers' use of physical force in making an arrest. And that was the most important to me because that's obviously what's at issue here is should he have been able to use that use of force? Yeah, without reading you the huge statute that is 3530 or whatever, it basically says that if he used reasonable force to effectuate an arrest, he can do it.
But hold on a second. The type of the method that he used, that chokehold, my understanding is that has been banned from using in that police department.
Well, here's the thing, and that's the key point. It wasn't a chokehold. It wasn't some kind of a headlock. Who said it was a chokehold? It's the media. The people that are there are saying it's a chokehold. What type of chokehold was banned? I know for a fact that LAPD for a long time used a chokehold, that they then came out and said you cannot use it. But headlocks are okay. And it has to do with the positioning of the body, the position of the arm around the neck or the shoulder, what force is used and how. I mean, it's just very specific. And when you get into the use of force hearings, which is what part of this was in the grand jury, all of that stuff is walking. They're basically said, here's what the policy is. Here's the evidence that shows he either was within policy or not within policy. Notice the judge did not say that they found that he was or was not within policy. That issue of the chokehold wasn't discussed in any of the separation by the judge. We don't know, what those issues are. There are, both of you, I'm sure you are aware, there are people who are trained in, ground, that will say you get more leverage doing this versus that, and that just gives you how they're trained as officers.
Right.
I don't know. I looked at the video and I don't know. I looked at the video a bunch to see, is he locking off, carotid artery? Is he, getting a second hand under there to apply, closing pressure to lock it down? Some kind of a jiu-jitsu hold that these guys are being taught. I couldn't tell. So, I don't know. I mean, I just think that we don't have all of the evidence. But we have to just trust that the people who did get the evidence, looked at it. Something I found very troubling was one of the witnesses said that when he was in testifying in front of the grand jury, those people were on their phones and not paying attention. And I'll tell you, if that's the case, then that's, in my opinion, very, very serious because it means that they're not taking their duties respectfully or responsibly, and somebody is not getting a fair shake, and that in this case is the deceased.
I'm sorry, did you say that the witnesses or the grand jury was on their phone?
The witness said that some of the members of the grand jury were on their phone. I don't know what that meant.
Why would you even be allowed to have your phone if you're a member of the grand jury? I don't even understand that. Like, you can work at McDonald's and not have your phone when you're on your shift. Why would they even be able to have a phone?
Unfortunately, when you're on a jury, you're allowed to keep your personal items with you, your purse, if you have a backpack or whatever, you're allowed to keep that stuff. What the judge instructs you, though, is turn off your electronic devices while you're in the court. Remember, there's no judge sitting in there when the prosecuting attorney is going through his evidence in front of the grand jury. I think that if that is true, and there was somebody in the grand jury that wasn't paying attention and they were on their cell phones, and it was seen by one of the witnesses, it should have been seen by the prosecuting attorney or one of his staff who's presenting evidence, like a junior associate attorney or
Absolutely.
and that should have stopped immediately.
Tom, I want to say I really appreciate your time and that you've gone through and shared your legal expertise and knowledge and information, which is definitely much more than Michelle and my combined Law and Order episodes.
Absolutely. And last question for you, Tom, before we have to let you go and go to a break. But do you think, because you've obviously read a lot of the information that they released or whatever, do you think the prosecution will try to indict him on a lesser charge?
I don't.
No?
No, I don't think so. I think what you're going to see is you're going to see the family file some kind of a civil lawsuit against the officer and the department for violation of civil rights. It's going to come into some kind of a federal 1983 claim, and they're going to go after the officer, the city, the department civilly. I think that's what you're going to see.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
I still think the grand jury needs to be fired.
Fire them.
Fire the grand jury. Check out the page on Facebook. Fire the grand jury.
Hashtag fire the grand
It
jury.
would be nice if it worked that way, but it doesn't.
Well, Tom, thank you so much.
So we've been talking to Tom with Capstrom Law Firm. Tom, let everybody know where they can get more information if they need some of your legal assistance.
They can email me at tom@capstromlaw.com, and that's spelled KAPSTROMLAW.com.
And we will put that on our website also. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Tom. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday.
Thank you, too.
All
Thank
right.
you.
So we are going to go to a quick break. And when we get back, we are going to have a guest on to share with us her story. I think that's what we're going to have when we get back.
So anyway, we'll be back in a few minutes, everybody. You're listening to...
Ooh.
Okay, you guys don't get it because it probably just sounded like whatever, I don't know. But anyway, we both start saying something at the same time.
Okay. So you're listening to No Limits Radio Show. I'm Christina.
And I'm Michelle.
Everyone's going to need an attorney at some point in their life. I'm no different. Hey everyone, it's James from Vets On. Whether it was my last will and testament before deployment or my ongoing custody battle for my children during my divorce, I needed help, so I lawyered up. If you need help, I urge you to contact Capstrom Law Firm. Capstrom Law Firm in Springfield, Missouri services clients throughout the state in criminal law, personal injury, and family law. With over 13 years practicing law, Tom Capstrom understands both law and court procedures and how stressful they can be. Let Tom Capstrom Law Firm and his dedicated staff take the stress and worry out of a difficult situation by calling him today. We feel so strong about the work that Tom and his staff are doing that he'll be a monthly guest on the show. Tom is a veteran and a listener, for God's sake, so you know the guy is solid and will fight for you. Give Tom a call today by calling 417-864-0552 or email Tom at capstromlaw.com. And don't forget to tell him that Vets On sent you.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertising.
Breaker 19. How about that bandage? You got them ears on, son?
Have you ever wanted to be a truck driver? If so, pay attention. If not, pay attention anyway. Southwest Truck Driver Training offers everything you need to get started. You can get hired before you begin training. They've got GI Bill approved training facilities, day, night, or weekend programs to fit your busy schedule. And if you have any questions, no sweat. They've got veteran supportive campuses with veterans on staff to serve you. And on top of that, they have lifetime job placement assistance. Put the pedal to the metal. Call Southwest Truck Driver Training today.
If you or someone you know is looking for a new job or career, you need to visit the pros. National Career Fairs at ncfairs.com. National Career Fairs hosts over 300 career fairs a year nationwide. The events are free and give you the perfect chance to meet some of the top employers in your area face-to-face. To find the nearest career fair to you, visit ncfairs.com. Again, that's ncfairs.com. What are you waiting for?
Would you like to own a thriving business and help employ local veterans? The Vetraplex Handyman Construction and Landscape business is the opportunity you've been waiting for. The Vetraplex is your gateway to an affordable startup business with 0% financing for qualifying owners. By owning a Vetraplex franchise, you will be hiring veterans, providing them both income and opportunity, while at the same time providing your customers a way to say, thank you for your service to our nation's veterans. For more information, visit vetraplex.org. Again, that's vetraplex.org or call 928-284-2022.
I have always wanted to do this.
You're listening to No Limits Radio Show on the Vets on Media Network.
We're back. Thanks for joining us here. We're at the Phoenix Dream Center, and with us we have Roderick. Roderick, thank you for joining with us.
Thank you for having me.
Tell our listeners what it is in a nutshell that the Phoenix Dream Center does.
Basically, the Dream Center, it houses women and men disciples that have been either incarcerated or have been paroled here, homeless, come off the streets from drug addiction, and they come here and they help rebuild lives here. And
I know that you are in security here.
Yes.
And you also have gone through the program.
Yes, I'm assistant director of security, and I came here back in April 2014, addicted to meth, and I was just dropped off here. And
who dropped you off here?
One of my friends. I had gotten married of September of last year.
Congratulations.
And I hid my meth addiction for a while. I was in ministry at church, and I hid that from church as well. And I just finally ended up homeless, living with my sister, separated from my wife. I finally went to my church and let them know that what was going on. I lost my job, my car. I pretty much lost everything. And one of my friends said, hey, I know a pastor at the Phoenix Dream Center, never had heard about it. And he brought me down here. I met with the pastor. And normally the men that come here, we have to go through the men's mission, which is affiliated with Church on the Street. But when I got here, the pastor asked me, was I dirty? Was I clean? And I told him no. And he asked if there were beds available, and I didn't want to. I was planning on going to get high. That's what I wanted to do. And he asked me, did I want to really make this commitment? It was a 180-day commitment, and I didn't know what I was getting myself into, and I did. And they took me home. I got clothes. They brought me back, dropped me off, and I've been here ever since. I've graduated the first phase of the program, which is basically no contact, basically by sale, media, anything like that. The first 6 months, the first 30 days, you can't go anywhere. And so that was very, very hard.
When you say no contact with anyone?
The first 30 days, they basically want you to really not think about anything, not deal with the outside.
So, but you have contact with people within the Dream Center,
within
just
the Dream
not
Center,
anyone that's outside of
that
it.
is correct. Yes.
And 30 days. So let's just for a moment go back to day one. Not day one of not having drugs, but day one of you slept off. You've slept for days and days and days.
Right.
And as a former crystal meth addict, I have an idea of what you went through.
Right.
So that first day that you woke up and you hadn't been sleeping anymore for days and days and days.
Yeah.
What was that day like?
I didn't know what I got myself into. I literally was like in shock, waking up, because I come from church. I was a church boy, basically. So I'm here with people that I never I thought would socialize with, but God let me know that I'm no different than anybody else, and that I'm the same as everybody else here. And so it was frightening. I wanted to leave. And there were several times that I would sit at the gates and I would literally cry, wanting to leave the place because I just didn't think I could do it. And I've always been a runner all my life. And finally, I had to make a decision that I was going to stay and fight this thing out.
How long were you a crystal meth addict?
God, for probably about 2-3 years.
Okay.
Yeah. And along with that, the alcohol and,
Sure.
and being on drugs, everything else comes along with it. And you burn a lot of bridges, and so it's been a while, and I hid it. And I say I was functioning because I was going to work, but I was just existing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's your life like today?
My life is great. It really, really is. It's it is it's amazing of what since I've been here, what has transpired in my life, what has happened in my life, and I really had to deal with who I was inside. I had to deal with the pain, the anger, depression, um, just dealing with who I was inside, and really looking inside myself just to say, okay, there's some things that you really need to deal with. We as men, we suppress a lot of things, and we don't deal with issues. And so um, I had to come to grips um, with the things that I had gone through in my past and deal with that. And it was hard. It was heart wrenching. It was literally uh, heart surgery, if I can say that, just to get all of that stuff out.
But when you do that work, when you go inside and you dig deep and you look at all those imperfections within you, and you start to work on yourself, and then you're able to help people around you.
Oh, and that's what this being in security, that is it's been amazing, because it's allowed me now, because I've gone through the 6 months, it's allowed me to now I can see the other side. So I'm able to assist and help and talk to people that have come in just like I did.
Do you know, one of the things that I find so amazing about recovery is people before they go into recovery, I think, are very average. And when you go through recovery and on the other side, as you were talking, I started to tear up, because it's such a magical and amazing transformation that takes place. And when you realize that the statistics of people that recover, especially from crystal meth, that is a powerful addiction.
Yes.
But when you realize that and you come through the other side, it's unbelievable the things that happen. And I think it's very fitting that you talked about the fact that people here are disciples, because I truly believe that there is a war being waged between God and the devil, and that tool is drugs.
Yes, it is.
Tell us a little bit about what security means. What is it that you do?
We do a lot. A lot of people don't know exactly what we do, but we do a lot of things. It's a lot of things behind the scene. We make sure people, first of all, are safe here. I don't look at security as security. I look at it as a ministry. It's able to come in, and you're able to have a rapport with these guys and the women, and you're able to go in and you check. We do bed checks at night. So there are times that we walk in these rooms and guys are literally wanting to leave. And so you have that opportunity to prevent them from walking out. We also, we just make sure that this building is secure. We make sure that people are safe. We do a lot of behind the scenes. We do bag checks when we do intakes, when people come in. We're called upon a lot to do a lot of things here. And I have a great boss that saw something in me, because I wasn't something that I, wanted to do, but she saw something in me, and is allowing me to do really what God has called me to do, and that is to minister to other people. And that's the big thing, is that we prevent a lot of things from happening. We don't necessarily have a lot of fights breaking out here, but there are times where things get a little hectic, and we have to, do disciplinary actions and hold people accountable, and that's what we do here.
How many people are living here?
I do believe, including staff, it's about 300 people.
Now, do you still live here at the Dream Center?
Yes, I am still here. I graduated the first phase. I'm in second phase right now, and that's more. It's a little bit more freedom. I'm still doing security. Second phase, I'm getting ready to be in my third month. And second phase is basically you're getting ready to phase out of the program. And so they allow you to get a job the third part of the month to work. They have a 2.5 where they give you an extension for another 3 months to save money, just to help you transition. And then they have a third phase where you can actually go in to full-time ministry. And at this present time, that is my goal. I don't feel like that I'm called to leave here. I want to be here because there's a great work here that's being done.
That's wonderful. So you
found your home?
Yes. Yeah, I have.
We cry a lot during the show.
I'm trying not to.
Yeah.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Real men cry.
Real men cry.
We
yeah.
have Kleenexes somewhere, I'm sure.
You can just use my sleeve.
I used it earlier.
Did you?
Use the side.
Well, Roderick, I'm so happy for you, and
Thank you.
I can't wait to see how your journey continues.
Oh, I can't. I'm
And
excited.
I wish you the very best of luck.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for allowing yourself to be vulnerable and share about your story.
Oh, no
So,
problem at all.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
You know, it's events like these that I love what we get to do.
I love when we do remote broadcasts.
I do too.
wish that we did them more often, and maybe that should be our goal for this next year, because there, I don't know about you, but did you know this place existed?
I didn't know this place existed.
I didn't either. It's on the other side of town from us.
Right.
But still, I consider us pretty knowledgeable in our community and what's going on. But I'd never heard of this place.
I know.
And
I had no clue.
it's 300 people.
300 people here having their lives completely changed.
Turned around.
Turned around.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And it looks like we have another person who's going to tell us all about them.
Hi. So step in close or scooch in close so that everybody can hear you.
As close as you can. You got to be real close.
So tell us your name.
My name is Dolce Crab.
Doje?
Mm-hmm. I'm
That's
the
a beautiful.
director of security here.
Okay. So you, just like Roderick, are part of security, but you said you're the director of security.
I'm his boss.
So you're his boss. So you're the one that saw something.
Oh, the nice lady, he said.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know if you could hear him, but he said, my boss saw
Yeah,
something
I was
in me.
listening. I was like crying with them.
Oh, I just
that's
love. Okay, we need Kleenex.
Jeez Louise.
I love getting the story, having the story come full circle. So tell us a little bit about how is it that you came to be the director of security?
How I came to be the director is I was on the streets. As a child, I was raped and molested by my own dad. There was a lot of abuse in my home, and it was always family, relatives. That it was just a lot of rape and molestation. Before I could even walk, I was molested. And so going through my childhood, my mom ended up dying of cancer when I was 13. And so I ended up getting pregnant with my daughter. So I was already a mom at the age of 15. And I started doing drugs at the age of 22. I didn't like men, although I had my daughter because I didn't want to be alone. And so it was really rough because I really didn't even like men. I was introduced to drugs at the age of 22. And so for 27 years, I did drugs. I left my kids, and I just couldn't cope with like my childhood stuff. And then I was a mom. And so I fell into drugs, and that gave me all my peace. And it gave me a hope. Or so I thought. And so I left my kids, and I ended up in Phoenix. And it's funny because they go to a church called PFA. And so I was at a drug house like 2 blocks away from PFA. And the security team came, and they picked me up because a friend found this place. And the security team came and picked me up from this place, packed me up. They didn't even know who was in that dope house. They didn't care. They came and they picked me up, and they brought me to the Phoenix Dream Center. And that was in 2009.
Wow. So you said that the drugs gave you peace and
Right.
hope.
Yeah, because
But is it peace and hope, or was it that it
wasn't.
numbed?
It numbed me, and that was my peace and hope because I didn't know of anything else bigger than that. Because on the drugs, I could just do anything or be in another place, but then when they wore off, I had to buy more. And so, not till I came here did I realize that I could have a peace and hope without drugs. God was my peace and hope. God's restored me with my family. Being at the Phoenix Dream Center, I live here. I'm a staff member. This is what I want to do. I could leave, but I don't because I just love serving. I went 27 years on drugs, and I just could not give them up for anything, not even for my own kids. And when I came here, and people trusted me and believed in me, and just being on the security team, I go places where nobody else is trusted to go, but yet they trust me, and it's amazing. Just that trust, and just to have a life back, I just love it.
Well, I think it's you mentioned something that you couldn't even do it for your kids. And I think that's one of those things that is a big misconception. People think, well, get sober for your kids.
Right.
Addiction is selfish. Recovery is selfish. You've got to think about yourself. It kind of like when you're on the airplane and they tell you when if the mask comes down, put it on yourself first before your child, because you have to take care of yourself first so that you can take care of your child.
Right.
So your relationship with your kids now?
Yes, they're all restored to me. Thank God. I'm going to be going home to visit my grandchildren for the first time.
Oh, that's incredible.
Aww. How many grandkids do you have?
I have 7.
7?
Yeah. So I've only seen 2 of them. One just came to visit me a few months ago, and my grandson Armando, I haven't seen him since he was 3 years old. He's 17. So the drugs really took all that away from me.
Yeah.
So I just lost so much, and it's amazing being here because I've just had so much restored to me, just living a life without drugs. I've got so much, and this is what I love doing, just being at the Phoenix Dream Center, because we get mothers in, these girls that were down here from the Hope Wing. I get to minister to them. I spend time with them. I live here on property. If they need me, I get up and come out of my house and I go up there to see what's wrong with them. I get to see the women when they come in, and fortunately some of them don't stay, and I have to walk them out the front door and they leave, and it's really heart-wrenching, but there are the ones that do stay, and that's where my heart is, just to just be there for them. I would like to see women not wait till they're 45 and 50 till their life, till most of their life is gone. So I just love being here.
Well, and for the ones that don't stay, I know that it's hard. Maybe it just isn't their time yet. Because you have to.
And it's not.
You have to be ready.
You do have to be ready, because I tried so many times and I just could not do it. And so finally, I was just so tired when I got here. When they came to get me, I ended up leaving once, and I came back and I called them and I asked them if I could come back. And that was it. I came in 2009 of September, and then I graduated phase 1 with honors, and I went on my vacation, and I ended up using, and I stayed out there. And then I was at another dope house, and I was just like on my knees, and I was like, I can't do this one more day. And when I came back, it just humbled me, and I haven't left since. And I'm 5 years clean, and I was just
gonna say, so you're 5 years clean.
Yeah, 5 years clean. This is the longest clean time I've ever had in my daughters. It's just amazing. I can't even tell you. And then to be a boss over men, I hated men for a very long time, and now I'm the director over them. And God is really showing me that there are men, that everybody's the same. And it's funny because I really could not stand men, and now I'm the director over them, and I really love them. These guys are like my sons, and I love what I do.
Yeah. So where's home for you?
Here.
So we don't cry. But you said you're going back home to see your grandkids.
I'm going back home just to visit.
So, but where's that?
It's San Diego.
It's San Diego.
San Diego. I'm going to be taking a plane. My daughters want to pay for my plane fare to come and see them, and to spend some time with them and my grandchildren. And so I'm really excited. I'm nervous, but I'm excited. And recently I had surgery on my foot. My foot was really messed up. It's like my hands, and I have arthritis really bad. So I had to have surgery. I waited 5 years, and finally I was blessed to have this surgery. And I couldn't even wear regular shoes. It was really hard. And so now I just had my surgery. My foot's healed, and my dream was to go home and walk on the beach with my grandkids. I'm going to get to do that. So I'm really excited.
Well, I don't think you should be nervous, because I think your daughter's pretty proud of you. So I don't think you need to be nervous.
I'm excited for you. I'm so
much.
excited for you. I can't. I wish you the best of luck, and
so
have
much.
safe travels when you go.
You.
And I hope that you have forgiven yourself.
I have.
Good.
Thank you, ladies, for coming out.
Absolutely.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right. Have a good holiday.
You too.
Okay, the next time we do a remote, though, can we go, I don't know, somewhere where we're not going to cry?
Well,
we seem to do that all of the time.
I think JD needs next time have tissues for us, because I'm crying.
Can you prepare this was your the
Tissues.
Kleenexes, tissues? I'm not.
Beautiful picture right there. I would do that.
Come on.
So I think No Limits should be sponsored by Kleenex. I'm just saying.
what's the commercial with the bear? Charmin?
Charmin
works.
toilet paper.
What? Sometimes Kleenex isn't available, so at least it better be Charmin.
Oh, we'll take whatever sponsors.
All right. Are you gonna
All
make
right.
us cry?
Are you gonna make us cry too?
Do you want me to?
No.
Okay.
Don't make us cry.
All right.
Might as well go for the turkey, like in bowling 3 in a row. Just go for it.
Yeah, why not?
All
Three out
right.
of
So introduce yourself to our listeners.
My name is Billy. I work with Ministry Development here at Phoenix Dream Center. I was a corpsman, U.S. Navy.
Thank you for your service.
You're very welcome. I also am the cafe manager. I'm the recording studio manager. I'm the media liaison between Phoenix Dream Center and Church on the Street.
Okay. So
you wear lots of hats.
Yes,
Yes,
many
I do.
hats.
Yes.
Okay, so the cafe, that is the cafe that was donated by the Diamondbacks.
By the Phoenix Diamondbacks Give Back Foundation. They're a nonprofit.
It's amazing.
I have to go in there. Well, while you were doing a tour, I was setting up the show.
I always do the fun stuff.
So I'll have to, when the show is done, take a tour. I haven't seen it yet.
Yes. Okay, and you said that you also do the media?
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, the media involves all the media that's presented in Sanctuary. We also deal with Facebook page and the website page, phoenixdreamcenter.org.
Which is a beautiful website.
Thank you.
So are you?
Pastor Brian does a lot of work on that. Brian Steele, he's the CEO here at the Phoenix Dream Center.
It's a beautiful website. I loved the video that's talking about the Model T.
Oh yeah.
And going into it's you guys. You have to go to the website and see it. It's really fabulous. You did a great job on the website.
Yeah, he did.
He did a fabulous job. And Church on the Streets. What is that?
Church on the Street is a life recovery school. Okay, it's where people come here either out of prison or off of the streets, and they need to get their life back on track. So they come here and we just give them God, just Bible all day long. They pay nothing to be here. This does not cost a cent. You're not allowed to work. You're not allowed to have a job while you're here. First 6 months is the first phase of discipleship. After that, you can go into the second phase of discipleship. Okay, that's split into 2 different categories. Your first 3 months, you're still not allowed to work, except for 1 day a week. You're allowed to go out and find a job. And the studies are a little more intensive when you reach this point. After the 3 months, then you're allowed to go out and get a job. We encourage people to go out and get a job and start their life. And you're allowed to do this and go to classes here while you're rebuilding your life.
And we talked to Roderick earlier, and he was sharing that he's in the second phase now.
Yes, he is.
So just so that I can make sure that I'm understanding the structure here, the Phoenix Dream Center is the building, and Church on the Streets is
Church on the Street is
the program?
tenant of the Phoenix Dream Center, yes.
Okay. What brought you to the Phoenix Dream Center?
Oh, my.
Is this where you're going to make us cry?
I hope not.
Okay.
Well, I sustained several injuries in my life. And as a result of that, I was on a lot of heavy pain medication, oxys. And I became addicted to my pain medication, and I started overusing them. And that turned me back into a person that I thought I'd left behind. Stone cold animal, to be honest with you. I did 9 years of prison because of some of the things I've done. And I was reverting back into those behaviors. And my wife said, you know what, I'm done with you. You need to change. And that's when I found Phoenix Dream Center. And this place has totally restored my life, my marriage, my family. I owe Phoenix Dream Center so much for what they've given me, as well as Church on the Street.
So do you live here on the property?
Yes, I do.
And
I've
so
given
does your
1 year of my life to Church on the Street. I'm a graduate of the program. And I'm giving 1 year to Phoenix Dream Center.
And have you and your wife reconciled?
Yes, we have.
And
we
so
have
does
such a strong relationship now. She is so supportive of me being here.
So does she live here with you
No,
also?
she does not. She lives.
No.
We have a house in Mesa.
But I'm sure she comes and visits, and you.
Oh
go,
yes. As a matter of fact, when I'm done here with you, I get to leave and go to my wife's birthday party.
Oh, well, happy birthday to your wife. Is
Yes.
today her birthday?
No, it was Wednesday, but
Okay.
thank you.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, tell her happy birthday. So you just decided that you're going to serve the organization for a year.
Yes,
because of what
I want
they've
to give
given
back.
to you.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
I'm so glad we got to have the opportunity to be here today, even though it was very emotional.
Yeah, it really was. What would you say to someone that maybe is listening that feels like they're at that point of wanting recovery, but they're just not sure. What's something you would say to that person?
Well, if you're just not sure, listen to the people around you. Listen to what they have to say to you. And when you start hearing the same thing coming from different sides of your sociology, from different groups of people, then maybe it's time to change. And when you see it in yourself that you do need to change, look up Phoenix Dream Center and Church on the Street.
One of the things I'm glad that you mentioned talking to the people around you. And I think by talking to the people around you, you're meaning not the people that you're doing drugs with,
no,
but your family and your friends. But here's the thing about, when I decided to recover, when I decided to step into recovery, the people around me that I had been doing drugs with, when I told them I made that decision, I think even the people that are doing drugs know that you shouldn't be doing it, because they all said, we support you in that, go away.
Yeah.
Or maybe they just didn't like me. I don't know.
Well, I've run into people from my past as well, and from that past life. And I've had to tell them, look, you know what, brother, we had some great times. I'm a different person now, and I've changed. And their total thing changes, their conversation changes. And they're like, well, you know what, good for you, man. I'm happy for you.
Yeah.
Have a nice life. Yeah.
What would you say to the family members of those that are struggling with drugs?
Don't give up. Don't shut them out. You think you're using tough levels. Sometimes it's too tough, and you'll really break a person down. But give them the opportunity. Don't shove them into the opportunity. Don't shove it down their throat. Just give them the opportunity. And when they're ready, they will know.
What can people do to help the Phoenix Dream Center?
Oh my gosh, there's so many ways that people can help the Phoenix Dream Center. Yeah, there's this thing called Amazon Smiles, where when you buy something on Amazon, you click on Amazon Smiles and you find an organization that you want part of your proceeds to go to, and Amazon will automatically give part of their proceeds to the Phoenix Dream Center. Just click on the Phoenix Dream Center. Fry's, if you have Fry's food card, you can go on Fry's website and you can see on there where you can donate to the Phoenix Dream Center. Every time you use your Fry's card, Fry's gives a portion to the Phoenix Dream Center. You can also send in donations that if you want to. Volunteers, we need volunteers. We're looking for every avenue of volunteer that we can get a hold of right now.
Like what would
give us an example. If I wanted to come on a Sunday, what
and
would
could you come on a
volunteers?
Sunday?
You absolutely can come on a Sunday. Come in, check in with the front desk, and tell them that you want to volunteer. They will hook you up with someone to volunteer with. You can volunteer either with housekeeping, with maintenance, and you can fill out a volunteer application. I really encourage people to do this. Fill out a volunteer application, talk with the volunteer coordinator, and see where in the ministry your volunteer time would be best used.
Not maintenance.
Oh, come on, pick up a drill.
Unless if someone wants a full-time job in it to go around and do everything that I just messed up.
I could do maintenance. I'm pretty handy. Not.
She can't do maintenance. Okay. Oh, shoot, what was I going to ask? I was just going to ask him a question. So go ahead. You go ahead. 'Cause
Okay.
I forgot.
Age of volunteers. Is this something you have to be an adult? Can teenagers come out?
Okay,
and
we have a thing here called short-term missions. Okay, what that is different church organizations will bring a group here to even sometimes stay overnight in our hacienda, and they volunteer. They clean up the property, they paint, they do whatever. So we have teenagers coming. We have kids from junior high that come and volunteer. All ages come here and
I
volunteer.
have 2 teenagers.
I'm sorry.
I'm volunteering them. Did you remember your question?
I do. So you have the Fry's, you have Amazon Smile. So those are kind of a consistent revenue that's coming in, for the
for the Dream Center. Yeah,
for the Dream Center.
They're new programs, so they're working up there. Yeah,
Sure.
But over 70% of our funding comes from individuals.
That's what I was going to ask.
Yeah.
So do you do fundraising like once a year? Do you have some type of an event, or twice a year? Do you have some type of event
Fundraising.
that
Like one
you
big
do, like,
fundraising event.
One
like
big fundraising
a gala
event. I'm
or
not
a-
sure if we have one huge fundraising event.
I think I know
But,
a way that we can volunteer and help you.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, outstanding. Get with the people up in ministry development. That would be Sarah Ogle.
Okay.
Or Shane Rabindranath. Say that one 5 times fast. But they're in ministry development. Get with them, and they will definitely listen to anything you have to say.
Okay, good.
Awesome. Yeah, we would love to help.
Okay, great.
And now he's got that on tape.
Yes.
It's recorded.
Well, I would have to hit save. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. We would absolutely love to. So we kind of like doing the fundraising.
We love doing
so,
fundraising
So
events.
yeah, so
Yeah.
we would
Yeah, so
we would
I-
love to help you guys with that.
Yeah.
I got a couple ideas myself that I want to put in motion.
Good.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, look up Sarah and no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I already have. Trust me.
Oh, okay. I was going to say if you don't know, sign in over there.
She's my boss, so I kind of have to be around her a lot.
All right. So, JD, I just want to say good job on setting this up. This is incredible. I'm so glad that you brought this into our worldview because Michelle and I didn't know about this.
Yeah.
Apparently, no one loved me enough to just drop me off here when I was in full-blown addiction.
I didn't know you because I would have gladly dropped you off. I can almost promise that I would have been here bright and early when the doors opened at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Please take her.
It's actually 8 a.m. But
Oh, it's 8? Oh, well,
She would have sat out there with me until you guys opened up, I'm sure.
maybe. I'm kidding. I could have locked you to the door or something.
Oh my gosh.
I'm just kidding. sweetie.
Oh, all right.
Because you have how many years now?
It was 2007 that I got sober.
So, wow, 7.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah. We
I'm
had
proud
to.
of
I was sharing with Michelle some of the stories of my insanity. Like
it is that, isn't it?
it really is. Like
Yeah.
instead of washing my kids' clothes, I would just go to Walmart at 5 a.m. and buy them clothes for school, like, and have this mound of laundry. Never, always on one, but never getting anything done. Like just pure insanity.
Sounds like a tweaker.
Yeah, it was bad. It was very bad. I'm so thankful for my recovery. So
You
anyway,
should be proud of yourself. So thank you for your time.
thank you so
You're
much.
very welcome.
And thank you for all that you're doing. This is great. Thank you.
Sure. We have one more person who
Yay!
wants to chat with us. We
Hello.
haven't scared you all away yet.
No, not yet.
Oh, all right.
So
Hi, Leo.
Leo,
Yes, ma'am.
thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me today.
Absolutely. So tell us a little bit about your role here.
Oh my goodness. You actually want me to tell you all that stuff, huh?
Yes.
What phase
So-
are you in first?
I have gone through both phases, first phase, second phase. I'm actually a chaplain intern. Okay, so I've gone through both phases. I've actually taken the chaplain class at Phoenix Works Assembly.
Nice.
So I'm totally out of the program. I'm here serving on a full-time basis. Okay, I work in what's called ministry development, and I do what they call church relations.
I think that's why he wanted to come talk to us.
That's not
Because we need to go to church.
I see. I sense that he felt he needed to help us.
do you know how you say I never wanted to serve in the military because I was an army brat, I was a military brat, and I did my time. You know how you
I
always say that?
foolishly, yes.
You foolishly, I did my time. I'm kind of the same way with, I'm like, I went to church like when I was a kid every Sunday for like a long, long, long time.
So you've done your time in the
I've
church.
done my time. No, I'm just kidding.
He's not finding that
I
amusing.
know. I know you're not finding that amusing. I'm sorry. I absolutely believe in God and
Amen.
everything that he does. And I'm
Amen.
definitely very spiritual. But I do have a lot of problems with a lot of churches, meaning
And we talked
And
last week about a church that wouldn't bury a woman because she didn't tithe enough.
she didn't tithe enough.
We talked today a little bit before the show about the pastor here in Phoenix. I don't remember the name of the church, but he said that all the gays should be killed. So there are some.
There's some politics in churches.
Yes, there is.
Yeah.
So I just haven't found the one with no politics yet. So I just have the Bible in the room, and that's where I am right now in my life.
Well, there's a great video on their website where they talk about the Model T and they relate it to all of the different things that you can pick and choose. Have you seen that video?
No, ma'am, I have not.
You should go to your website.
I intend to.
It's really, it's really incredible. The founder of this organization talks about, the Model T and how the Model T first came out and you had one choice. And then when Henry Ford brought out the next model, I don't remember the name of it, but you had all these different choices. Then you look at coffee, all the different choices that you have in coffee, and people apply that to their faith. Well, I'm going to pick this. I'm going to choose this. I'm going to pick and choose. So anyway, it's a great video. It really stuck with it. Kind of hit a couple nerves this morning. Anyway,
All right.
Amen.
okay.
Amen.
Sorry,
Back to your
that
role
was
here.
my brain just kind of goes zigs and zags.
That's
and-
okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Some of the
so-
tweaker didn't leave her. It's still, So anyway, tell us what you do here.
Well, I am responsible for putting together a lot of the things that go on here. I take pictures also. I guess you could say I relate to the people that are around here, whether in the Dream Center, whether churches. I call churches and see if we can get speaking engagements at any of the churches in the valley. That's what we're working on.
That's great.
I want to formally invite you guys to our church appreciation breakfast.
And what
Okay.
is that?
That's going to be in March, I believe. We haven't actually set a date, but I will get back to you and let you know.
And is that going to be
when
a
it's for sure.
fundraising event?
That will be an appreciation event where we can bring people in that have either come and volunteered, they've donated, or they just, have given in-kind donations.
Sure.
Okay? So we want to invite you guys in just to say hello, see how you're doing, and maybe help us raise some funds at that time too.
Fundraising event. That is awesome.
That we will help you with.
Okay. We definitely want to help you with that.
Amen.
Okay.
Amen. So I do tours. We do a tour on every Tuesday at 12 o'clock. Okay. We also do a tour every first Saturday, which is some of the stuff that you saw going on this morning. We had a tour going on, had some pictures being taken.
So I'm glad that you mentioned what was going on here this morning. There were a lot of people here in the lobby.
Yes.
And for those of you can't see this lobby, but there's a Christmas tree, Christmas decorations.
Yeah, it's pretty.
It's very pretty. It has a very joyful, warm, inviting feeling to it. Were the women that were here, were they residents?
Those are Hope Wing girls. Okay.
Hope Ring Girls?
Hope Wing girls.
Hope Wing Girls.
Okay.
What is that?
We have a ministry here that takes in girls that have been taken into sex trafficking. Okay. So that was them this morning.
Oh, wow.
Okay. We find that 30% of those girls are also pregnant. So we do have a pregnancy crisis center here also. Okay.
So do you need diapers and formula?
Yes. Anything that people want to donate, we certainly could use anything that they have. Also volunteers. Okay.
We
I
could do a
noticed-
diaper drive.
We could do a diaper drive.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome.
How many residents are in your Hope Wing? Just to give people an idea of what we're talking about.
Like
as
how
far as
many
numbers.
and how many babies?
I don't know the exact number.
Just
I know
about.
there's at least 20.
Okay.
Okay. So we're always, the venue is always changing. We've always got girls coming in, girls going out.
Okay.
Okay. So at any given time, there may be, 20, 30 girls here, and there may be less.
So for those, so you're in your third phase
I'm
or second phase?
No, he's
Sorry.
graduated.
No,
I'm a
sorry.
actual staff member here
Okay, sorry.
in the
Okay.
Phoenix Dream Center now. Okay.
For people that are in third phase, just if I'm correct here,
Mhm.
third phase, those are people that are going to get jobs, right? No?
There's a couple things that they can do as a third phase person. They can actually go into full-time ministry, and that's what we're looking for people in third phase. Okay, I'm not necessarily in third phase. I'm a volunteer staff.
Okay.
So I live here on campus, and in order to take care of all the things that they give me, I work here.
Okay.
Okay, as a staff member.
Okay. When people get to the point where they're ready to go to work,
Yes.
do you have companies that you work with? Do you help them with the resume writing, the application process, the interview process? Like, is that a support that you have here?
Here at the Phoenix Dream Center, we have what's called Milestones. Okay, Milestones is a bridge back out into the community. That's ran by Terry Gaitan. Okay, they can come in. There's computers there where they can look for jobs. There are different companies that they have a list of there where they can actually be hired by those companies. Okay, they actually have people that come in and actually help them do resumes and put resumes together. So Milestones is the place that they want to go when they're getting ready to get back out into the community. We also have our SALT outreach, which is ran by Eli and Christina Steinbrecher. Okay, that's a bridge between the Phoenix Dream Center and the outside community for counseling, mentoring, things like that. Okay, so we have several different entities within here in the Phoenix Dream Center, all to assist them to get reacclimated back into society.
Yeah, so it's not a place where you're just bringing someone in, they're going to get clean for the 180 days, and then you guys are going to push them out the door and say good luck.
No
you guys
way.
are totally different than that.
We're totally different than that. We want to make sure that when they get back out there, they're going to be functioning. Of course, we know we all know that doesn't always happen.
Sure.
Okay, but our hope is that when they get out there, they're a functioning member of society and they have Christ in their heart, and they're what they've learned here, they'll apply out there.
And just again, everyone that's here is staying because of the donations that the community has given.
Yes, ma'am.
So
Yes,
they pay nothing.
They don't pay anything to be here.
That's
It's a
really
phenomenal
incredible.
place.
It really
It
is.
God is doing a great work here, guys. You have no idea some of the things that are going on here.
Oh, I can only imagine. I got to tell you, as we were driving up, I didn't know what, because I had never heard of this place. I had no idea. I didn't know what we were coming to. And as we were getting closer and the GPS told me that it was on the right, I was like, this is a hotel. I mean, this looks like a hotel.
Yes.
It's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable.
It really is.
There are stories here that, oh my goodness. I've got friends that have come, friends that have gone, friends that are out there now that wish they could still be here because of all the stories and all the things that God has done in their life since they came here to the Phoenix Extreme Center. I have friends that are out there now that come back on a regular basis because they know God is here. When you walk into this place, you can sense the presence of God. I've seen people that were addicted to whether it's meth or whether it's heroin, never have a withdrawal symptom. I've had people that have come in that just finished doing their last pack of cigarettes and they come in and they never smoke another cigarette again. I have a gentleman that has come in, we call him Moses, that came in with his feet curled, his toes curled up under his feet. Within 3 months period of time, God had straightened out his feet. We've had people that have come in that were literally demon possessed, where you see them delivered in service. Okay. We see people that come in that their lives were just broken. Okay. And God restores their lives. That's what we do here. We believe that God will heal, rebuild, and restore people's lives and restore their dreams.
I got to tell you, you're a great speaker.
That's all God.
Well,
God picked a good person to portray everything that you do here.
Amen. Amen. Do you guys have any more questions?
No, I think that it's like you said, when you walk in, it's just, you can just tell it's a place that everyone wants to be. And I think for what you guys do here and what people go through that are here, for it to feel like that is pretty remarkable, because a lot of them are going through, like you said, the withdrawals and I'm sure feeling lonely and depressed and all of that. But you walk in here and that's not visible. It's more, everyone seems to really like it here and be successful. So I think that's,
Amen.
And to have the miracle of people not experience withdrawals from drugs, that's pretty.
That's something that's almost unheard of.
It absolutely is.
When I first got here, I think it was the third month that I was here. I was in room 246. They said both of these guys that have come in, they just got off of heroin literally last night. Okay. Both of them were here for at least a period of 30 days. As I woke up, I would say, hey, how are you? How are you doing? Now, you have to understand, my mother-in-law was addicted to heroin. Okay. So I know what it is to be addicted to heroin and have to come off and withdrawal symptoms. I know what they look like. I know the pain. I know the anguish. Never a withdrawal symptom. Never a withdrawal symptom. Okay. No pains, no aches. They got up and said, I'm great. I'm fine. I was like, okay, this can only be God.
Yeah.
That's the only person that can do that.
Wow. Well,
so
good luck to you and your journey. I know that we have to wrap up. Thank you for your time and thank you for sharing with us.
Thank you guys for having me. You guys have an excellent day.
Thank you.
God bless.
You too.
God bless you. All right. I always like when we get a chance to come and see the good things that go on in our community, because as you know, in the media, you hear a lot of negative, you know,
Yeah.
you hear, it's pretty much all you hear, you know, you go on Facebook and it's this, it's that, and it's not a lot of positive. And it's great to start out the weekend and just feel rejoiced.
So for our listeners, you know, our local listeners especially, if you're in that same boat where you're looking to see that there is some good, it looks like they could really use your help and volunteer. So I encourage you to come down here. For our listeners that are abroad, if the things that you heard here today resonated with you, I encourage you to go check out their website, which is the Phoenix Dream Center.
Phoenix Dream Center.
The PhoenixDreamCenter.org.
Yes.
Yeah, so go to their website.
PhoenixDreamCenter.org.
And you can see the video that I mentioned. I think if you go to the Who We Are tab, you'll be able to see the video and you'll be able to see all the different ways that you can help out. So I encourage you to do that. Also, look at the way they spend their money because I do have the budget breakdown and you can trust in the money that you're sending. So anyway, have a great weekend. I'm Christina.
And I'm Michelle.
At the twilight lies gleaming, whose broad stripes